There is a scaling strategy that lets you get hundreds or quite literally even thousands of clients without losing any money at all. And the strategy is called self-liquidation. And as you can see in this screenshot right here, from January 29th to February 28th, I was able to do $1.117 million. So what I'm doing in this video is going to explain to you guys how to make $1 million per month with self-liquidating funnels. Now, you're probably not going to make $1 million a month, but the premise stands that this is one of the most powerful strategies of all time. So it's all about acquiring clients at instant break even, cash flow positive rates that enable unlimited scaling. So you don't need to go take out debt financing or go raise funds to grow your business. You just self-liquidate on the acquisition of customers, and that allows you to scale the company. If you don't know who I am, my name is Daniel Fazio. I'm the co-founder of Client Ascension, which is a coaching company, ListKit, which is a SaaS company. And just for transparency here, about 70% of this $1.1 million is SaaS, so not coaching, right? So just for the kind of people who are selling done-for-you offers, like actual real businesses and not just running coaching businesses. Just want to make that very clear. And this video is the second video in my playlist called Hyper Growth Tactics. So if you're interested in seeing the first one and all of the future ones, go to my channel and just go to the playlist and look up Hyper Growth Tactics, and you're going to see really long, in-depth videos that go into these advanced strategies. So here's what we're going to go over today. The CAC LTV ratio that makes this model actually work, offers and funnel structures to use to make this work, how exactly to market and get clients with this model, and how to execute Operation Hyperscale. So this is what we're doing in our companies right now, this whole self-liquidation strategy. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how to implement it yourself so that you too also can acquire clients at instant break-even cash flow positive rates that enable unlimited scaling. So if you're interested in that, pay attention, take notes, or you can leave this video on in the background. But let's get straight into part one, which is understanding CAC to LTV math. So let's talk about the math that makes or breaks your literal entire company. So CAC is your cost to acquire a customer, and LTV is your lifetime value. So LTV is the total amount of money you'll make from a customer, considering churn, upsells, downsells, and cross-sells averaged out across all paying customers. So you might have a situation where you've signed a bunch of clients, and some clients stay for 2 months, some clients stay for 12 months. You have to take all of them. You consider absolutely every singular variable at all ever, average it out. That's your LTV, because that just is reality, right? And then CAC is how much money you spend to acquire the customer with their associated LTV. So if you make more money from a customer, LTV, than you pay to acquire them, CAC, then you make money. Full stop. This is how it works. This just is how reality works, right? So however, the math of this needs to be designed in a cash flow positive manner, because if you are acquiring customers for more money than the amount that they pay you immediately, this results in negative cash flow. So you might see something like, well, why do some companies go raise a bunch of VC funding? And like what they're doing, you have to imagine is that, let's say that they're selling like a $300 a month subscription, and then they pay like $1,200 to acquire a customer. So what happens is it takes them 4 or 5 months to actually even make the money back at all that they already spent, and it's negative cash flow. You see, it takes a while for it to recoup back. But if you don't have VC funding or millions of dollars to execute on this, you need to make the money back immediately. You need to pay $2,000 right now and immediately make the $2,000 back so that your cash flow doesn't go negative. That's what this strategy is all about. That's what I'm teaching you today, and how to execute that so that you don't have negative cash flow, right? So you want to spend $2,000, immediately get back at least $2,000, and then realize your profit in the following months. So this is a visual of how exactly this works. So in a negative cash flow would be, so right here on the y-axis, you have cash flow, and then on the x-axis, you have time in months. So for instance, right here, let's say you acquire a customer for $2,000, but you're only charging $1,000 a month. So month one, now you're at negative 1,000. And then month two, now you're at break even. Month three is when you're in profit. Month four is when you're in profit. That's negative cash flow though. You can't scale that unlimitedly. So in a self-liquidating cash flow model, what you have here is that you pay $2,000 to acquire a customer and immediately make back $2,000. And then immediately month one is the profit. You see what I mean? That's the differential between these. If you immediately make your money back, it is substantially easier to scale. It makes literally everything so much easier. So there's a payback period that must elapse. So for instance, let's say you charge $1,000 per month, but your CAC is $2,000. So you pay $2,000 immediately and get $1,000 back. You have to wait all the way to the second month just to break even, and then another another month to even start realizing profit. This is an issue because your cash flow is negative, which means your growth is too slow. So the ideal situation is that you immediately make all your money back. For instance, you pay $2,000 to acquire a customer. You are immediately paid $2,000 or more by the customer. This is what self-liquidation is defined as. What you are doing, the entire premise of it, is you are acquiring, paying customers for $0. I'm going to get more into this theory in a little bit, but let me show you how we think about this at our company. So we spend about $6,000 to $8,000 per day in ads, and our cost per qualified call is around $300 and $350. With the 60% show rate, that's about $500 to $600 per qualified live call. We close about 25 to 30% of those calls, so our customer acquisition cost is approximately $2,000 to $2,500. Now here's where it gets interesting, because our average initial order value is about $2,500. So we break even on the acquisition of a customer. But here's the magic, right? Our clients pay a monthly subscription after that. With the 95% retention rate month over month, the actual LTV of the client is massive. So the second month is where we start making profit. By month 3, we're in significant profit territory, right? So this is the fundamental math that most offer owners miss. You need to think about, what's the initial CAC? Like, what does it cost you to acquire a customer? And then the initial AOV, what's the average order value? What do they pay you upfront immediately on day one? And the retention rate, how long do they stay? Because this influences LTV. And then the monthly value, what do they pay you each month? Because that also influences LTV and AOV. So if your initial AOV, your average order value, is greater than or equal to CAC, you have a self-liquidating funnel, and everything after this is profit. So you need to be concerned with two things. Two things you need to be severely concerned with. Are you acquiring customers at a break-even or positive cash flow so that you are not cash flow negative? And is your lifetime value of a customer high enough to actually make substantial profit in your business at all? See what I mean? So this is the fundamental math, right? So a successful business, so you have a CAC of $2,000 and an LTV of $16,000. That would mean you have an LTV to CAC ratio of 8 to 1, and your profit per customer is $14,000. What influences LTV? Revenue per sale, purchase frequency, customer lifespan, referral value, and profit margin. A failed business would have a CAC of 3,000 and LTV of 2,000. So it'd be 0.67 to 1. So you'd be losing 33 cents for every dollar you spend. So what are the components of that? Marketing costs, sales team commissions, advertising costs, onboarding, like fulfillment costs, right? So let's walk through this. Right here is a CAC to LTV ratio calculation. So this is just simulating it out if you were spending on ads. So, yo, real quick, if you want my personal help building and launching your funnel so you can add $10, $20, $30,000 per month in new business every single month, automated completely with ads, I can help you launch your funnel personally. So what's that include? Your offer, funnel, VSL, ads, sales team, and fulfillment team. Exactly everything that we did to get to 1.2 million a month. It's the first link in the description. Click that, watch that video over there once you're done with this YouTube video. See you over there. Real quick, I'm just going to go through this. So you're spending $30,000 per month on ads, and your cost per qualified live call is $350, and your close rate is 25%. What that would mean is that over 30 grand of ad spend, you would get 86 calls, close 21, and have a $1,400 CAC. And then let's say your average revenue per customer is $3,000 per month. And then let's also say that you have a 70% gross margin per customer and a monthly churn rate of 14%. What this would mean is that your customer LTV is $21,429, but your lifetime gross profit per customer is $15,000. So the ratio of this CAC to the lifetime gross profit is 10.7. And what that means is that if you spend $30,000, you will realize $291,429 over the course of 7 months. That's literally what that means, right? So it's just a ratio of what does it cost you to acquire the customer versus how much gross profit do you make from the customer, and that's it. So let's keep going. So part 2 is designing offers that pay for themselves. How do we even design the offer that self-liquidates? And I'm going to walk you through some examples and exactly how to execute yourself. So let's talk about how to actually design the offer. So the first principle is understanding what cold traffic actually buys versus what your existing clients or warm traffic buy. This is crucial. What cold traffic buys is not what warm traffic buys. Very clear distinction that needs to be made here. We need a proven front-end cold traffic offer that is actively being purchased in the market right now. I need to read this a second time so you like fully ingrain what I'm saying here, because this is the number one most massive mistake when people try to do this. A proven front end offer that is so to cold traffic that is actively being purchased in the market right now. Not a warm traffic offer. I'm going to go through some examples of this in a second to make sure you don't make this mistake. If you want to go extremely in-depth on this, go to my channel and watch the video, How to Scale an Agency Offer to 100K a Month, free course. Go watch that video. That's also in the Hyper Growth Tactics playlist. It was the first one. So that's where I fully talk about designing an offer for cold traffic, but a quick synopsis of what exactly you need to do. Pick something that's already selling. Do not make it up. It must already have active proven market demand. This is going to save you tens of thousands of dollars and months of your life. Make it deliver a clear, concrete, quantifiable result. Have a clear value proposition as to why you're different. Price it appropriately for your level of market authority. If you have low authority, use a more aggressive guarantee in the offer to compensate for your low authority, and then make it a new opportunity for the client, not something that improves something you're already doing. You want to start something new for them. That's how you want it to be positioned, as a new opportunity for them to begin working with you, right? So here's some examples. Front end offer needs to be simple, specific, and solve an immediate pain point. Examples: we'll set up a cold email system for your business that books calls. We'll build you a webinar funnel. I'll set up your Google Ads account for a one-time payment. Here's some pricing structures that work. One-time payment, and then manually upsell them into a retainer later on after the setup has been completed. Monthly tech fee plus performance, like $500 a month tech fee plus pay per call, or setup fee plus immediate subscription. What you lose here is being able to say the phrase one-time payment in your marketing, which is a huge value proposition, but it makes the upsell process substantially easier. It's a trade-off. So one thing that trips people up is trying to jam too many services into one offer. So if you look at the most successful agencies, they have one clear front end offer. It's very distinct what their front end offer is versus things that are upsold and cross-sold to already active paying customers, right? They might have 8 to 10 services they can provide. They're cross-sold and upsold to already active clients, but they are only actively promoting 1 to 2 to cold traffic, right? It's about what cold traffic buys. Why do you have to do this? Because cold traffic doesn't know you. They're skeptical. They need a low commitment way to work with you before they trust you with everything. So here's what's working right now on the front end, like substantially well. One-time setups. Why? Because it's low barrier, low risk, low commitment, and fast. That's what you're trying to do with your front end cold traffic offer. It needs to be low barrier, low risk, low commitment, and fast, right? Again, just to reiterate this so you fully understand the premise of this business model. Cold traffic is not just going to magically pay you to take over integral aspects of their business, right? I'll do this for you and this for you and this for you and this. They don't know you, right? This is the equivalent of asking girls to marry you before you take them out on a date. It's weird, creepy, desperate. It doesn't work, right? Low barrier, low risk, low commitment, and fast, right? Take them out on a date, one-time payment setup offer first before asking them to marry you. Retainer. See what I mean? So retainers, consulting, multi-month packages all come after the client has already gotten results with you. These are upsells, not cold traffic front-end offers. Remember, your front-end offer is not your business model. It's the gateway to your business model. So this whole front end, this whole low barrier, low risk, low commitment, fast, one-time setup type offer is specifically and only used to self-liquidate your cost to acquire a customer, and then you sell them stuff later on. That's it. That's this model, right? This is not your whole business. It just needs to be very clear, right? So you're simply trying to self-liquidate your marketing spend and acquire the maximum amount of buyers as is conceivably possible. Why is this important to understand? Because the value of a buyer is 100 times to 1,000 times more valuable than a lead. So you're going to see this a lot as you go about your life and consume marketing materials from people who don't actually make any money. So what you're going to see is people will brag about their low lead cost. You need to understand there's a vanity metric. The lifetime value of a lead, aka somebody who just gives you their email and phone number, might be $3, right? If the lead cost is $3, then the CAC is equal to the LTV, and it's completely useless. See what I mean? You have to remember this phrase. So ingrain this. Buyers are buyers are buyers are buyers. What does that mean? It means that buyers continue buying, and then non-buyers are non-buyers who do not buy. That means people who don't buy stuff continue to not buy stuff, and people who buy stuff continue to buy stuff. You see what I mean? If you're just getting leads with a bunch of ad spend, they don't buy stuff, and they will continue to not buy stuff. If you get buyers, they buy something and prove that they're a buyer, and then they continue to buy things. This is just how the world works. It just is. People who do not buy continue to not buy. People who do buy continue to buy. So therefore, the entire premise of the system is for you to acquire the maximum amount of buyers at a $0 loss, as the probability that they continue to spend money is mathematically certain. They will continue to buy. They literally will, like 100% of the time. So let's walk through some funnel types. So if you're an agency or SaaS business, one-time setup offers through a VSL funnel. If SaaS, make the subscription auto-renew, so a smaller subscription. If agency, manually upsell clients higher price retainers, so multiple thousands instead of multiple hundreds. If you're a coaching or info business, do a low ticket course or challenge, and then nurture buyers in a group with content, then upsell higher ticket coaching, right? So you might ask something like, well, what about webinars? Let's go back to the core integral premise again of this system. I personally found webinars to only really work for me on cold traffic. To promote a webinar to cold traffic with ads is extremely difficult to convert. The other problem with it is that they don't self-liquidate because it's free to register, right? So again, a webinar is free to register to. What does that mean? It's not a buyer, so it's substantially harder. You see what I mean? So this is why I like challenges where it's a paid off, right? So you make the actual contents of the challenge valuable, and then you just upsell the people who specifically indicate they do want to pay you for more help, right? Webinars free, you register to. A challenge you have to pay for. And if someone pays for a challenge, they've therefore indicated that they're a buyer, and their LTV is literally 100 times more than the people who just get a free webinar. This is what you got to understand. It's so important because the shit works so well. Like if you just do what I'm saying, like it's just insane how much easier your life really becomes when you like fully execute it like this. So again, main focus here, acquire buyers for a $0 loss, right? Do this at the maximum scale conceivably possible. Like literally think of this, get 1,000 people who have paid you any amount of money at all while incurring $0 of loss. That's what you're trying to do. Just get 1,000 people who have paid you any amount of money at all. And it will be severely, actively difficult to fuck this up. Actually, and I'm going to explain how in just a little bit in this video. It is functionally impossible that you do not profit on this. You're more likely to get struck by lightning 3 times than have this not work. People who buy things continue to buy things at a rate 1,000 times higher than the general public. It's very simple, and you have to fully ingrain this, right? Sell them one thing, lose $0, and then sell them more things after that. It's really that simple. Like just do that. So let's get into part 3, capital efficient marketing. This is how to get buyers at a $0 loss. Once you have an offer that can self-liquidate, you need to get in front of the right people, but most agency owners make critical mistakes here too. First, let's talk about what not to do. So don't spread yourself across 10 different marketing channels when starting. Like if you haven't taken something to multiple hundreds of $1,000s per month or $1 million a month, like you're a beginner, maybe low intermediate, like it's too difficult to try and do this at once. Like you just got to pick one of these and only do that until you really figure it out. Don't try to sell 8 different offers on the front end at once. Take them one at a time and build systems around them. So it might be like each one you launch and each marketing channel might be multiple months of work. See what I mean? Don't ever promote lead magnets when selling to cold traffic, right? Instead, identify which acquisition channels work for your specific financial situation, right? So here's how we break it down. You got cold outreach, paid ads, and content marketing. Let's go through these. Cold outreach is great when you have no or low budget. It works well for high ticket, specialized services. Best for B2B. And extremely specific messaging is crucial, right? So paid ads requires a budget of at least $200 a day. Like that's the absolute bare minimum. And I'm going to get into this later in the video explaining why this is. But if you try to get paid ads and spend less than $200 a day, it's literally actively completely useless. Like completely useless. Don't even bother, right? So high risk for unproven offers, low risk for proven offers. You need solid filtering to remove the poor people from your funnel so they aren't allowed to book calls and you don't train the pixel to find more poor people. This is super important, and I might get into this in future videos, so subscribe if you want to see them. But you need to actively run defense against poor people and not train your pixel to find poor people. You need to filter people out and not let them book calls, right? You must have a VSL that reveals pricing, qualifies prospects. This revealing pricing in a VSL single-handedly was one of the determining factors of what allowed us to like really actually scale. It made everybody's life so much easier. It made the prospect's life easier. It made our salespeople's life easier. I am such a fan of revealing prices now. It's actually so much better. To B2B specifically. If it's more B2C, you might want to conceal prices, but if it's B2B, show the price, actually. This leads to substantially higher close rates and less sales team churn. People only show up to the calls, they know the price, right? Salespeople aren't talking to poor people, they therefore churn less and they stay longer, so it makes sales team management substantially easier too. All right, content marketing. So it's slower, but builds authority. It amplifies the effectiveness of other channels. YouTube is the one you want to focus on specifically for B2B. And then most videos should have a lead magnet because lead magnets only work on warm traffic. All right. So you know how I said over here, don't ever promote lead magnets when selling to cold traffic. Only do lead magnets when you're selling to warm traffic, right? Okay. So let's walk through finding CAC. So massive mistake is thinking free marketing doesn't have CAC. I tell you to do cold outreach, which takes your time, and content marketing, which takes your time. And you're thinking it's free. Like, oh, it just takes my time, right? I just post content. I do cold calling. That doesn't cost money. Yes, it does. It costs labor. And to scale it, you must replicate labor, which costs money. You need to hire other people to do it for you. You need to replicate yourself. That's money, right? Time is money. Same thing. So here's a real conversation I had with a student of mine with actual numbers he gave me on a call. This is real. I didn't make this shit up. This is literally what he reported to me. So cold calling is working for them and he wants to scale it. So meetings booked via cold calling last month was 20. The show rate was 12 out of 20, so it's a 60% show up rate. He closed one person out of the 12. That's an 8.3% close rate. He was selling an $800 a month offer, and it cost him $800 to do the cold calling. So that's to employ a cold caller on a performance basis of $400 a book call. And the outcome was that he self-liquidated. Cool. So he self-reported that the leads are significantly lower quality than his cold email leads. They make less money and therefore can't afford to buy higher price services. This also leads to them closing at a significantly lower rate. So 8.3%, it's pretty low, but they still self-liquidated. So how do we scale this? This literally is, by this definition, this is a good marketing channel for him. It is, it's self-liquidated. It is good, scale it, right? So how do we scale this? This is the core premise of his problem I was trying to relay to him. So let's say hiring an SDR for 4 hours a day. Let's say the all-in cost, software, everything is $1,300 a month. Expected dollars are $5,000 per month. Projected meetings, 25 to 30 per month. The expected show rate is 60%. The expected show calls is 15 to 18. So projected close rate is 2 to 3 clients per month. That's if the close rate improves to 13 to 15%. And the projected revenue, $800 per month per client, is $1,600 to $2,400 MRR. Okay, here's the problem. He's currently at $30K a month. He's telling me he wants to get to $100K a month by the end of the year, right? This is a $70,000 per month increase. If there's 10 months left in the year, that means he needs to sign $10,000 per month in new business every month, right? There's also SDR churn via them quitting and then firing the other ones if they have poor performance. So in the actual raw reality of the world, for every 4 SDRs he hires, only one of them will actually be able to produce $2,000 per month in new MRR, right? So if you want to be adding $10,000 per month in new revenue per month, you need to hire 4 times 5, 20 SDRs, right? And then you need to keep hiring more to replace those that self-quit. So the idea that he could scale this business by hiring 1 SDR per month is completely backwards and not how reality works. And that's what I was telling him, because he was saying, like, I'm going to hire 1 and test it out. It's like, bro, the mathematics of this don't work out if you're only hiring 1 in the next month. You need to hire 4 right now, like bare minimum. If you're actually serious about increasing your MRR $70,000 in the next 10 months, you can't hire fucking 1, bro. Like, you need to hire 4 immediately right now, because you need to hire 20 to even get to the run rate that you need to sustain over 10 months. Can't hire 1. All right, so why am I going on this tangent? Because the biggest mistake you will make when employing this self-liquidation strategy is by being too much of a pussy to actually scale to the degree that is necessary to make any meaningful amount of money at all. That's the number one mistake here that I see constantly with even my students. They're pulling their punches. They're being too much of a pussy to make it even worth it at all, right? Let me keep going deeper into this concept. This is super, super important for you to understand. If risking $5,000 to $10,000 per month is too emotionally taxing on you, in what backwards world do you live in believing that it's reasonable for you to hit $100,000 per month? Your expectations in comparison to what you're willing to risk is completely out of line. Look, I want to make $100,000, $1.2 million per year, but I'm too scared to risk $5,000. It's the most backwards, insane expectation of all time. It's like being a 4 and thinking that you're going to marry a 10. It literally doesn't make any sense at all, right? So the problem with going too slow is not really about that you're being a pussy or you're not trying hard enough to reach glory. Like, that's not what it is. Like this masculine, oh, you gotta go harder and hate your life. That's not the angle I'm trying to push on you here. This business is going to take up so much of your time that if you go so slow, you're going to get burned out from working so much and not making enough money, right? So as a personal anecdote, I have no problem working 40 to 60 hours per week if I'm taking out at least 50 grand a month in profit, and anything less than that is not worth it. And ideally, it's multiple hundreds of thousands per month taken out as profit. You're going to spend such a large segment of your life running this business, making so little money for so long that you will simply get discouraged and think it's a waste of time, right? So like if you're 25 years old and we can assume that you gained full adult sentience and consciousness at the age of 18. This is the equivalent of spending 15% of your entire total conscious life on something that's just so completely uselessly slow. You need to move faster, not because of glory or looking like a man, but because anything else is career suicide, and your self-esteem is going to continuously plummet to the point where you quit. It's just too slow. Like you only have so long of your adult career. I'd be like 20 years, and it's like you're going to spend a year or 2 years of it, like a good portion of it, dude, like maybe 10% of your entire adult career that you only get a singular time in your life, you're going to spend here fucking around, going too slow, literally making no money at all. Like, you can't do that. It's too slow. So you're not being serious. All right, cool. So let's walk through some projections. So if you're running automated outreach, you should expect to close one client for every 10,000 messages. If this is not the rate you're hitting, it's likely, very likely, because you do not have a good offer. Rewind this video to make sure you have a good offer, or go to the hyper growth tactics playlist on my channel. Rewatch the first video in that playlist to make sure that you have a good offer. So for paid ads, expect your cost per acquisition to be $1,500 to $2,500 for a one-time payment offer or setup offer. This is important here. If you're trying to sell a retainer offer on paid ads, the CAC is going to be like $3,000 to $6,000, depending on your market and how competitive it is, right? So this is exactly why I steer people towards setup offers, because the CAC is generally 1/2 to 1/3 of acquiring a full retainer client offer. So if you're trying to sell a full retainer offer to cold traffic where it's not low risk, not low commitment, your CAC is going to be too high and the cost per call is going to be too high that you start freaking the fuck out when you spend $3,000 on ads and haven't signed a client yet. Every single time I see somebody do this, they spend $2,500 on the ads, they spend $3,000 on the ads. Like, I haven't closed a client yet. Like, this isn't working. They start freaking the fuck out. They turn the ads off because they're trying to sell a high ticket retainer offer that's not low risk, not low commitment, and a competitive offer where they have zero differentiate. That's what you're trying to do. If the CAC is going to be $6,000 and you spend $2,500 on ads, you start freaking the fuck out. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you haven't even spent the bare minimum amount of money yet based on what you're trying to sell. That's why I steer people towards one-time setup offers, because in the marketing, you get to say one-time payment. The specific phrase one-time payment literally shoots the CAC down by like fucking half to 1/3. This is what I'm trying to do. And the reason I do that is specifically so that you don't freak the fuck out when you spend money. You see what I mean? That's literally why you do it. All right, cool. So for content marketing, commit to at least 6 months before expecting significant results, but add a lead magnet to every piece of content. We're seeing like 20 to 30% opt-in rates on YouTube videos with the right lead magnets. It's actually pretty insane. So warm traffic only for lead magnets. All right, so key point, match your acquisition strategy to your resources, right? Don't try to run paid ads if you can't afford $6,000 in testing. You see what I mean? If losing $6,000 to you is like catastrophically, like complete emotional turmoil, don't do it. It's literally completely useless to start running ads if this is a lot of money to you. You see what I mean? Don't rely on content if you need clients this month, right? Because content's slow. And then don't expect cold outreach to work if you're not going to dedicate 20 hours per week to it. It's really simple. Just match the acquisition strategy to your resources, right? So you spend either time or money, but it's got to be at least one of them, right? There's no free clients. They always have to be purchased via money or via time. All right, cool. So part 4 is how to execute Operation Hyperscale. Let's talk about turning your self-liquidating front-end offer into a sustainable growth model. Front-end acquisition, paid ads driving to VSL funnel with the application, strict qualification. So we're qualifying them based on revenue, budget, and ability to pay. It's initial setup offer that covers the acquisition cost, right? And then fulfillment optimization, right? On your fulfillment side, you need low-cost delivery through systems and AI. You really need to start leveraging AI. I had a client, he was spending $500 per YouTube script. Start doing AI, it's like fucking 20. You see what I mean? Like, it cannot afford to be overspending on your fulfillment team. Like, it's completely ridiculous the amount of money some of you guys spend on fulfillment. It's actually insane. Like, you're getting completely screwed by some of the people you've hired. All right, cool. Clear scope boundaries to prevent scope creep with the clients. And then 50% of your team's compensation needs to be tied to output metrics. Absolutely nobody is on a 100% fixed salary. Not a single person in our team across every singular department, like 40-something people, not even one is on a 100% fixed salary. At least 50% of their compensation is tied directly to output. Why do you do that? Because if you pay people fixed salaries, they do the bare fucking minimum. You see what I mean? But if they get paid based on their output, they magically start outputting more. It's crazy. Really insane concept, but it works. All right, cool. So revenue expansion, monthly subscriptions, cross-selling additional services, super important. And we're gonna dive super deep into this in a second. This is literally completely integral to making this work, right? So increasing prices over time as you add more value, and then creating new offers and re-offering every person who knows of you in existence. Important. So here's what this looks like in practice. We have a $2,100 startup fee, and then subscriptions ranging from $600 to $6,000 a month. The setup fee covers the acquisition costs. The monthly subscription is all profit. profit, right? We signed 5 to 10 clients per day, even at our scale. We're still just barely profitable in month 1, but by month 6, we're making substantial profit, right? Okay, cool. So if you spend $1,000 a day on ads with a $500 cost per qualified showed up call with a 25% close rate, you'll have 2 live calls per day. That's 2 to 3 new clients per week. This means your CAC is $2,000. If you have a $3,000 setup fee minus $500 fulfillment costs, and then the sales commissions you pay for a closer, you self-liquidate. You've made $0. Congratulations, you self-liquidated. Okay, so do this for 1 month, and you've acquired 8 to 12 clients. Let's say the subscription cost is $500 per month on each of these clients. This means by month 2, you now have $4,000 to $6,000 in MRR. Assume your fulfillment cost is 30%, leaving you with a 70% margin, meaning you're profiting $2,000, $2,800 to $4,200 in month 2. Okay, let's model this out. If you want to make $50,000 per month in profit from here at this exact moment, you have 2 available options. Option 1, continue doing exactly this for 17 straight months, or raise your ad spend to $5,000 per day and do it in 3.4 months instead, right? Like this is what I'm getting at before when I was talking about like you're going too fucking slow. Like, are you going to sit here and do this for a year and a half straight just to make 50 grand a month in profit? Or are you going to not be an absolute fucking pussy and just raise the ad budget 5x and do it in 3.4 months instead? It's really quite simple. You see what I mean? So the important thing to understand here is the profit curve. So the early months are lean. You might not make much, or you might even lose a little, but because you've set up a self-liquidating funnel, you're not going deep into debt. You're staying cash flow neutral while building an asset that pays off exponentially over time. So this is sustainable growth. It's not depending on you taking out loans or reinvesting every dollar. It's a system that pays for itself and then generates profit automatically. So you put the ad spend on a credit card. The credit card bill is due every 30 days, so you don't pay interest. However, you collect all the self-liquidating cash from the clients immediately, then you immediately pay off the credit card. You have acquired paying customers for $0 negative cash flow. It's free customers, right? So this is a Google sheet modeling this out. Let's go over this. So again, what we had here, these same numbers, $1,000 a day in ad spend. And then what you're seeing here, 3 months profit, 6 months profit, 1 year profit. Setup offer price, $2,500. Retainer price is $500. This is assuming forced retainer, so it's 100% upsell rate. The time to ascend is 4 weeks, because after the setup fee, exactly 4 weeks later, they will get a subscription charge. Cost per qualified call is $300. The show up rate is 60%, which leaves us with a $500 cost per live call. Your close rate on the live calls is $2,500, which means your CAC is $2,000. Your daily ad spend is $1,000, which means you have 2 live calls per day, 3.5 closes per week. Fulfillment cost on the setup is $500. Your retainer offer profit margin is 70%. No, this is what this model is out to be. If you spend $1,000 a day on ads, it's going to take you over the course of 3 months, you'll make 11 grand in profit. That's fucking poverty. It's literally poverty. It's like 3 grand a month. See what I mean? However, it does get better over time at this same level of ad spend. So like over 6 months, it's $64,000 a month of profit. So now it's like you eventually realize over the course of that amount of time, about $10,000 a month of profit. And then 1 year of profit is 360 grand. However, if you want to make just absolutely insane amounts of money, if you just take this daily ad spend number from $1,000 to $5,000, your 1 year profit goes from $360,000 per month to 1.8 million. And if you scoot on over here and you look at these profit curves, you can see that it accelerates over time. You see what I mean? And that's the point, is sticking to this model, being consistent with it for a long time while balancing, actually increasing the budgets over time, so that you make an absolutely insane amount of money. This is what I'm just trying to get at here, where I'm just trying to steer you away from the concept of going way too slow to realize any amount of money at all. Because like, let's say you start ads at $200 a day, which is like, it's just not a lot. What this does is 3 month profit is $2,200. It takes you 3 months to get $2,200 in profit total. And then it takes you 1 year to have $72,000 in profit. It's so slow, bro. Like, dude, that's poverty. It's literal poverty. Like you can't only risk $200 a day. It's not enough. That's six grand a month. You have to do more. Like you really just do. Right? Bump it up to $1,000, and like $1,000 a day is where you even start to see anything meaningful at all that even makes you have good self-esteem and like feel like you're even realizing success. You see what I mean? Like what you guys are trying to do, like so much of this is, and then some people think it's okay to do like $50 a day, and then that's only $18,000 in profit for the whole year. It's just so unreasonable for you to think it's okay to do that. It's not. It's really not okay. You're going to quit the business. Like your risk tolerance is so low that it actually destroys you. It's literally safer to have a higher risk tolerance. This is so important for you to understand. All right, cool. So this entire modeling is a problem with everybody who thinks spending $50 a day on ads is okay. It's not okay. It's too slow. You're running a failing business. It's literally completely useless to run the company at all at that scale. Either scale it or shut it down. Like really. So now this is part 2 of executing hyperscale. I want to show you this diagram here. If you're just listening to this right now, this video in the background, like just open up YouTube again and look at this diagram. This is super important for you to see. So what we have here is 6 green boxes, and these represent 6 individual offers. Offer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And each one has their own type of marketing channel. So offer 1, meta ads. Offer 2 is organic. Offer 3 is ads. One over here can be cold outreach. And you have a shit ton of different offers. Now let's walk through a little practice here. Say you sign 100 clients from ads on one offer, right? And then some percent of those clients stay on for a year. And then some percent of those clients churn, but ended up being downsold to some other offer to stop them from fully churning, right? And then another percent fully churned, but then they started getting ads for some of the other offers, and then they ended up buying one of those offers. And then you had a low-priced offer that was selling to cold traffic, and then they got upsold by the customer success team to a higher tier offer. And then older clients saw you launch another offer and then ended up buying that as well while they're already clients on another offer. So now they're not only on one offer, they actually have a second offer from you. And then this cycle repeats infinitely in an interweaving in cohesive fashion. So what I'm trying to get at here is, what I'm trying to explain to you is that you self-liquidate on one offer, and then you make all of the profit via the continuation on that offer as a subscription, or by upselling or cross-selling or downselling them onto another offer. And then that same offer can also be self-liquidating, but that offer also has continuation and cross-selling and upselling and downselling components to all of the other offers. And then you launch another offer that replicates the same exact thing. So the more offers you make, the better this system works, because every individual offer could be independently self-liquidating, and your absolute level of profit will geometrically expand for every new additional offer you add. Let me try to explain it to you like this. Every new offer that you make decreases net revenue churn, increases lifetime value, decreases CAC as there's more optionality, increases reactivations, increases net revenue expansion, and increases free cash flow. Every single additional offer that you add does all of this, all at once, all simultaneously. You geometrically expand your profit as you add more offers. This is the number one thing you have to understand. If you make a shit ton of offers and you have 6 offers, it is wildly and profusely easy to make geometrically more money as opposed to just having the one continuation offer. It's insane. This is hyperscale. You see what I mean? That's what hyperscale is. Generally, what you want to do is you get one offer to about 80 grand a month, and then you launch another offer, get that one to 80 grand a month, then you launch the next one, get that to at least 80 grand a month, and then all the previous offers are continuously going higher than 80 grand, and you just stack all these offers together. And each one you launch is easier to get to 80 grand a month because you've already been self-liquidating on all of the other offers, so it's super easy as fuck to get all of the people who are already buyers to already buy it. It's insane. This is Operation Hyperscale. You see what I mean? So, quick visual of this. Offer 1 and offer 2 are self-liquidating. So it's $0 profit, which they all lead into your pool of acquired paying customers. And then you launch another offer, and some percent of those people in the acquired customer pool buy it. So bam, $2,000 for each one. And then you launch another offer. That's a $2,500 offer. And then some percent of the acquired paying customers pool buys that. And now you get $2,500 from them. You see what I mean? It's just profuse geometric expansion of profit as you have a shit ton of offers. It's actually legitimately insane how well this works if you execute this properly and you just stick with this whole thing for 6 months, 8 months, a year, 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's legitimately insane how much money you make by doing this. See what I mean? So let's walk through some common pitfalls and how to avoid them. So pitfall number 1, not qualifying prospects on ads. This is all integral pitfalls like you really need to understand if you're actually serious about executing this strategy. So if you're running ads without strict qualification, you'll waste thousands on tire kickers who will never buy. So you need to use a type form before your calendar that asks, what's your current revenue? Can you afford our service, while stating the price? Reject people who don't qualify. Would you rather have 50 calls with unqualified leads or 5 calls with qualified buyers? The math is obvious. Only want the qualified people, and specifically, you want to stop training the pixel on poor people who don't have budget. See what I mean? Pitfall number 2, trying to do everything all at once. Unless you have a team, you need to focus on one revenue stream until it's systematized and you build the team for it out and get it consistently self-liquidating. Building something out for scale takes considerably more effort and mental bandwidth than you believe. Pick one marketing channel at a time and one front-end offer at a time. Take the time to diligently build out the system and keep going even when you're bored of it. Remove yourself from fulfillment as fast as possible. Get it to 80 grand a month, systematize it with the team, remove yourself from fulfillment, then build the next one. All right. Pitfall number 3, raising prices too quickly. Several people on our calls make this mistake. They went from 5K offer to a 10K offer overnight and they saw their close rates plummet. You want to increase prices gradually, like 10, 20% at a time, and then track the impact on close rate. If raising prices impacts close rate too much that it results in you not self-liquidating anymore, you need to stop and put the price back to the level that it self-liquidates. Always be tracking how literally every single thing you change impacts CAC. You need to self-liquidate. If you stop self-liquidating, you are in emergency territory. You can't do that. Pitfall number 4, leverage guarantees correctly, right? If adding a guarantee to your offer substantially lowers cost per calls and substantially increases close rates with a refund rate that is not high, then keep the guarantee. If removing a guarantee results in your CAC being too high to not self-liquidate or reduces your LTV too substantially, then don't remove it, right? Play with this variable as a tool to influence CAC. If you change something, you need to track, how is this impacting CAC and LTV? Am I still self-liquidating or not? You need to 100% of the time be self-liquidating. If you stop self-liquidating, you are in emergency territory. You have to self-liquidate. See what I mean? You cannot acquire customers at negative cash flow because then your growth rate stops. It starts to go down. You start losing profit. You see what I mean? It's very important that you are tracking everything like a complete psychopath. You need to make sure that you're self-liquidating. Pitfall number 5, not creating additional offers. So again, I just want to reiterate this. The entire purpose of this strategy is to generate buyers, right? AKA people who actually spend money, which are the same people who continue to keep spending money. Therefore, you need to keep selling them additional stuff. Additional services, higher tier packages, expanded scope, performance bonuses, more offers. Without this, your LTV stays flat and your growth hits a ceiling. This literally is how you make the profit in the company, is by LTV expansion. That's how all of the money is made on this in the first place. You see what I mean? So here's a startup checklist. So wrapping this up, let me give you a clear action plan, right? Audit your current numbers. What's your customer acquisition cost? Free marketing is acquisition cost, right? It takes time to produce content. There's people required to edit and do whatever with it. Cold outreach takes time. You see what I mean? There's software costs. Like, actually audit this. What's your customer acquisition cost? What's the average first purchase value? What's the retention rate? Model that out. Get an LTV. Calculate if you're self-liquidating or not. Calculate your CAC to LTV. Redesign your front-end offer. Make it specific, tangible, and results focused. Price it to cover your acquisition costs. Add guarantees if you lack case studies. Create a clear VSL or sales script. See what I mean? Reveal pricing if you're a B2B offer. Focus your marketing. Pick one channel and master it. Implement strict qualifications. Stop talking to unqualified people with no money. They're not buyers. Track your metrics obsessively. Don't add a new channel until you've mastered one. Build expansion offers. Map out your customer journey. Create upsell and cross-sells. Add recurring elements where possible. Increase prices as you add more value. And track how it impacts CAC so you don't implode your strategy. Then systematize your fulfillment. Document your process. Use AI and automation. Implement output-based compensation. Gradually remove yourself from delivery. This is not theoretical. Like, I just want to reiterate this. This is not a theoretical thing. This is exactly how we hit 1.1 million in a month. Doing this whole strategy for like a really long time. This is how we did it, right? This works with every niche on the planet. There's absolutely zero of you watching this video right now where the strategy does not apply to you. It's simple mathematics. It really is. And I will help you build this strategy directly if you want help on that. So if you make more than $30,000 per month in your business, we will personally help you build your offer, funnel, VSL, ads, sales team, fulfillment team with you. We have a brand new offer called Olympia. Olympia is specifically for people who want my one-on-one help. You're gonna be talking to me directly a lot. One-on-one calls, you get 2 one-on-one calls a month. There's a group with a bunch of other people who are making 100, 200, 500 grand a month plus inside of Olympia. We're gonna help you build all this out one-on-one, your offer, funnel, VSL, ads, building your sales team, your fulfillment team, optimizing everything, making sure you're self-liquidating, building out all the additional offers, executing Operation Hyperscale. It's a brand new offer. We've already helped 3 people add more than 100 grand a month to their business, and at least 5 have added 50 grand a month so far, just so far. And this offer is only a couple months old. So it's priced way lower right now than it's gonna be over the next couple months as I keep adding case studies. I'm already posting them. You're probably seeing them come out on my channel gradually. If you're interested in learning more and joining, the link to Olympia is in the description. Book a call with us and we will go through your funnel and your strategy directly with you. It's not like a hard sales call. Can we actually build a strategy that would let you scale this? This is personally my best offer we've ever made with the highest success rate we've ever seen. It's actually the best offer we've ever made. So if you want to execute Operation Hyperscale, I would encourage you to re-watch this video or go to joinolympia.com. If you got any value from this, please, it would help a lot if you subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, share it with people in your network, because I'll keep making these hour-long videos. All right, that's it from me today. I love you. Peace.